Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is the morning routine, the first morning routine in 2022. We'll start with some feet warm-ups, get into those hips, and add some strength to the stretch to start any day of the week strong. Lauren, take it away with those feet.
Excellent. I have a balance aid off to my side. Ian has a real bar, and I have a chair, which will do just fine. With our feet underneath us, let's gently feel that pull as we pull our heel off the floor, engaging through that hamstring glute. Now from here, let's push some weight straight down into the balls of the feet and the toes. As you push down, can you imagine that tension coming up into that inner quad? Then we'll do our point to get to that tippy toe position. We'll gently let the toes flex over. From here, let's wing that foot out, but keep the knees facing forward. And then pull that ankle back underneath, get back to the tips of the toes, through the ball of the foot, and then the heel will come down and that hip will extend. Repeat on the other side. Feel that pull off the floor to get to that demi-point position. Again, push some weight straight into that. Warm up that VM or that inner thigh. Then gently point. Flex the toes, rounding over. Allow that ankle to wing out a little bit, but keep the knee facing forward. And then pull that ankle back into center, get back to the point, through the ball of the foot, and then that heel comes down and the hip will extend. From here, let's push down into both feet and grow up to find a two-legged balance. And just hold up here. You're driving down into the floor, pulling up the kneecaps, squeezing your cheeks, bracing your core. And if it's easy, look around the room by moving your head or your eyeballs. Once you're done that, come back to center, and then let's slowly descend. Come down nice and controlled all the way, and now let's keep descending and lift up the balls of our feet and our toes and try to find a balance on our heels. As you're here, it's actually, I find, harder. As you're here, try not to push your butt back behind you, but to keep it underneath you and hold. And try to balance, and then place that full foot back down. From here, let's just push those knees towards over the toes to work on that ankle dorsiflexion, and then extend the hips, pressing through to tall. Repeat again, those knees towards over the toes. Now let's bring the ceiling down on our head, staying the same height. Find a rise on the balls of your feet, and hold. And then the heels will come back down, and the hips will extend to tall. We'll do that one more time, the knees towards over the toes. We'll stay the same height as we find the balls of the feet in the rise. This time we're going to break through that ceiling and press to tall. Hold that balance. And then slowly descend. The knees stay nice and straight. Straighten them even more. And then we're down. Let's shake that out. And we'll do a little hip bar here. And then we'll go to Ian for our ribs and head neck. With our hip bar, our balance aid at our side, let's not make this about balance. We'll do that later. Point the outside leg to the front. Right away, let's just do our rotations. So that inseam will face upward towards the ceiling, and then back to center, and that light rotation in. Let's do that one more time each way. As we do that, are those hips staying level, bowl of punch level, back to center, and then that light internal rotation. From here, we'll bring that leg back underneath. There should be enough room for it. And then we're gonna bring it out to the side. Don't reach too far out to the side, stay within your cylinder. Now from here, open up or inseam forward, and then back to center and hide that inseam by turning in on the femur. Repeat again, rotate that inseam open, back to center, turn it down, and then we'll turn it to neutral and just pull it back underneath. Let's do one circle each way. Point the leg to the front. Again, keep those hips level and stacked. Externally rotate, your inseam is up. Send that leg to the side. When that leg gets to the side, the hips are pushing forward and you're still tall on the inside leg. Now we'll turn in on the leg. Continue drawing that circle all the way around the back behind you. Then roll over the foot, keeping the knee straight. Bring it back underneath. Now to the back. Reach out the back. Hips stay level as that leg rotates open. Nothing else moves. Legs just rotating all the way around to the front. Kneecap will turn up to the ceiling and pull that leg under. Whew. Work on the moving leg, work on the standing leg, switch sides. Same routine, other side. We started tall and we just extended that leg to the front. Keep those hips stacked. Externally rotate, inseam up. Internally rotate, inseam down. As you do this, can you look down? Are you rotating from that femur, the big bone, or are you rotating from your knee and ankle? Let's rotate from up here. Once we're back to center, we'll pull that leg back under. 2 to the side, so reaching long to the side, same thing. Rotate open in the socket, inseam forward, back to center, internal rotation without hiking your hip. Repeat again, rotate open, rotate in, and then to neutral, the leg will come back underneath. That standing leg is still squeezed. This time we'll point the leg to the front. Open up an external rotation. Send the leg to the side. Once it gets to the side, rotate in and continue circling all the way around the back. Roll over the foot, bringing the leg underneath our body, and then to the back. Straight leg reaches out to the back. Rotates open in the socket as that knee comes to the side. From that side position, we'll continue all the way around to the front. Rotate so that kneecap faces forward and return the leg back under, keeping it straight. Whew. From the hips to the
shoulders, shoulder blades, and that upper body. We'll get rid of those balance aids, so remove your chair off to the side. And from here, shoulder blades first. Palms forward, low effort, shrug up, and then lightly reach down as if to touch the floor. Repeat one more time of a shrug up and a down action of the blades next. Reset somewhere in the middle of those 2 ranges. Next, take the hands to forward if allowed and protract the shoulders, rounding forward. Then retract as to lightly squeeze a pencil between those shoulder blades. Return to protraction or reaching out front once more. Keep those elbows straight and then retract. Arms reset to low. At the head neck, let's take extension and flexion. Lightly look up to the ceiling. Then the crown of the head returns to the ceiling as your chin tucks towards the top of your sternum. Repeat one more time. Pull down to go up and reach up to go down. Reset your eyes on the horizon. Lateral flexion extension next. Ear towards the shoulder on one side. And I hope that I'm moving my head and not the neck, and recommend you to try the same thing. Move the head, but keep the neck in the same position. Avoid the overreaching shape as we go one more time to the side, and then the other side. Return on center. Rotations next. It's the chin tuck to get nice and tall. And from here, we'll add our rotation, looking over a shoulder. Always aim to get tall to make room for those vertebrae. Rotate to the other side. Snap. Crackles and pops are possible, not desirable, but make room by pulling the crown of the head to the ceiling like a marionette for efficiency and perhaps a little less snap, crackle, pop. Switch up your stance if you wish, and those same actions of the head, neck there through the rib cage. Flexion is bringing the front of the rib cage towards the front of the hips. Extension of the rib cage or T-spine is lifting up. Be sure not to use your low back.
or your head neck.
Or your head neck. One more time as we do our flexion forward. And then our extension back up and over a hurdle in the back. Return to center. Lauren's alluded to that cylinder, and right now the cylinder is right over top of the hips. Side flexion, keeping the body in that cylinder. Return through center. Alternate flexion to the other side. Repeat again, 2s or 3s here, slow and steady. Warm up those ranges. Always remember to breathe. And our last side bend. Return to center. And lastly, rotation. Keep those hips forward, the head forward too, and with the shoulder blades in a light retraction, a very modest rotation. Return through center, squeeze your butt cheeks, take a breath, rotate the other way. Repeat once more, stabilize through that low back and mobilize that T-spine. The head stays forward, the hips stay forward as we rotate one last time and resuming or returning to center. From here, I think things go down on the floor, Lauren.
Yes, we will almost get to the floor. Let's touch our floor in our forward fold. So with our feet underneath us, we'll gently extend our head neck towards the ceiling, and then we'll tuck our chin towards our chest and start rolling forward. As you roll forward, think about keeping your hips stacked over top of those heels, so maybe even start shifting your weight forward a little bit. Then we're trying to imagine there's a wall in front of us as well as a wall behind us. So we're trying to forward fold in the tiniest of alleyways here. Once you're dangling in your forward fold position, could you shift your weight just a little bit more forward into the forefoot? Keep the heels down, but shift your weight forward. That'll prevent the hips from extending. We're hanging out. We're breathing. And then we're going to stack ourselves back up. So from here, engage the core in the front and the back of the spine. Use your muscles to bring yourself all the way back up to tall, with head being last to stack. Now that we're here, we'll do our straight leg movement clock.
Lauren addressed those places along the clock face, midnight being front, 10s and 2s, 9s and 3s as we move around the clock. In open space, challenge your balance and your spatial awareness. Take a single leg, move it towards midnight, and then extend that hip to bring the leg back. Repeat on the diagonal. I'll be reaching my left leg towards that 10 o'clock position, and then assemble back into center. Open to the side, aim to have that inseam facing forward, and then kneecaps face forward on the return. Similar to a skate stride, reach that leg, that back corner, 8 o'clocks and 4s underneath. And the smallest of most of those shapes will be out the back as you reach to the back, point the toe, and return underneath. Weight transfer, and same thing to the other side. Toe point out front, midnight, and under. Then those diagonals at 10 or 2 to the front, and pull. Grip the floor with that standing leg, brush it lightly with this leg out to the side, and out to the back corners.
And don't bend those knees.
And keep those knees straight is what she's really saying. And then to the back. And you too. Good cues for everyone. And pull under. We love our movement clocks. We'll work on a couple more variations in a moment. But until then, I believe now it's time to get to the floor.
Not yet, but close.
Okay.
We're going to practice a couple hinges. We'll come up and then we'll do our regular movement clock. Then we'll get to the floor, so stay tuned.
All right.
With your feet slightly wider than your hips, we're going to do our hinge. So what you're going to do is chop those hips back. Your shins remain vertical and your spine stays long. As you're here, your toes are gripping the floor as well as the balls of the feet. You feel that load through your hamstrings and your cheeks. Now push down and out on the floor to drive those hips all the way through to tall. At this topmost position, let's pull those kneecaps up, squeeze, embrace, repeat. Hip hinge. Tilt the tailbone slightly to the ceiling as you tip those hips back. You'll feel more load through that hamstring and you'll keep that neutral lumbar spine, which is what we want. One more time. We don't want to be rounded in our low back. So if you're feeling that low back, try to tip the tailbone to the ceiling, core brace, and then push down and away to stand up tall. Now, the regular clock.
Stepping out. Improve your spatial awareness. Start small, but look to take nice, graceful steps. Start by pulling up and holding a single leg balance, and then point the leg. Accept that floor toe ball heel. Scissor to create stability. Press away to create power. Pull up, knee face forward, then to that diagonal. Point, toe ball heel. Pulling together for stability, pressing away for power. Knee front. Follow wide knee side. That inseam faces forward. We land toe ball heel and press away for power. Knee front, then knee side. Now turn on that standing leg to face the diagonal corner in the back and then press to center. Keep your knees parallel, knee bend. Toe ball heel accept in the back. Find your balance and press away for power. Repeat the other side. It's knee front, knee extend, toe, ball, heel, scissoring, pressing away, returning to center. Knee front, diagonal, point, pull to accept that landing and press away to return. Knee front, knee side, extend, toe ball heel, and press. Then again to the front, then to the side. Slower is harder. Extend, accept, push, return. Final rep, it's the bum kick, the toe ball heel. Feel the scissor, feel the power in the push. And now,
The time has come.
time to the floor.
We're going to get to the floor. Either your forward fold or your hinge. Don't do both. Pick one.
Which one are you doing?
I'll hinge.
I'll fold.
Okay. So pick one. Chip chop or foldy fold. Push those hips back or fold yourself
Keep them
forward.
stacked.
And then we'll come down, making our way to all fours here. We'll do a quick wrist warm up, and then we'll get some planks firing up our core. With our hands fully engaged, gripping the floor. All 10 fingers are spread out nice and wide. Let's turn our attention to our shoulders. We'll shrug them up into our ears like, I don't know. And then pull your shoulders down, engaging your lats or these climbing muscles, pulling muscles. Do that again. Shrug your shoulders, pull them down. Now this time, without moving your spine, push the floor away as to bring your blades around your rib cage, and then retract your blades, squeezing a pencil between them. Repeat again, not moving your spine, but push the blades around, and then lightly retract them, pinching a pencil. Now let's find a medium place between all four of those positions where your blades like to rest. Rotate your elbow pits forward as you can, with the straightest elbows and the shoulders remaining low. Now from here, I like to draw some circles with my shoulders, which will transfer weight through my hands and my wrists. If you're finding this too much from the floor, bring the floor up, use a table or countertop, let's switch directions, or the wall in front of you. One last little circle here, distributing that weight, feeling the fingers take some load, the callus line take some load, and not just the direct pressure through that 90 degrees. Let's push the floor away, flick, and shake. We'll do one more wrist, fist, hinge. Find those knuckles. Let's notice the difference here between being on your 1 and 2 knuckles versus being out towards that pinky side and letting those wrists kind of sickle out there. So let's try to keep them in a nice straight line as we roll over the back of the hand, opening the palm up towards the sky. Check it again with your shoulders pulled down and your elbow is trying to rotate forward. Press back up to those knuckles. Repeat on the other side, rolling over the back of the hand. Shoulder stays low, elbow pit tries to rotate forward. Press back up. One more time on each side. Try to actively get in and out of this position. So don't just be a floppy moppy, but push the floor away to get back up. One more time on the other side. Actively extend or open that hand, and then push into the floor to come back up. Pressing the floor away, we'll explore a little side plank.
Awesome. It has to extend those hips. So let's get onto an elbow, ensuring that the shoulder is stacked on top. The shoulder, the hips, and those knees are forming a straight line. If they aren't right now, let's push those hips through a little bit. Slump on that shoulder just a little bit. Then push the elbow into the ground, recruiting those armpit lats, and pull the rib cage away from the floor. Continue to pull away from the floor by lifting the hips, pushing the butt forward with a slight tuck under. Breathe. Hold. Add a challenge by straightening the leg out to the side. Additional challenges include lifting and holding. Remember to breathe. Keep the rib cage away from the floor. Return the leg to the ground. Stack those knees. Rib cage continues to stay away from the floor as the hip aims to touch, and then gently relax out of that. Repeat on the other side. Firm elbow. Hand could be open, gripping the ground, or make a firm fist. The shoulders over top, straight line through with a slight hip extension or bum squeeze. Lift the rib cage onto the hips or away from the floor, and then continue to lift the hips pressing forward. Squeeze your buttocks. Remember to breathe. Add challenges as you can, including straightening the leg out to the side, playing footsies with your partner, then perhaps lift. And from there, hold for time. Return the leg to the floor, keeping the rib cage away from the ground. Return the hip to the floor. And lastly, the ribs to relax.
From here, we'll press back up to our kneeling position and come through to a kneeling lunge. So from that kneeling lunge position, we have one leg in front and that back toe either tucked or pointed straight out behind you. I prefer the back toe tucked. I can just get a little more leverage here. We're going to gently tuck under both hips. So scoop that bowl of punch under. Now, let's slowly try to tip the tailbone towards the ceiling or spill that punch out your belly button. Repeat again, tuck the hips under both. Now this time, let's try to leave that back leg tucked under and try to reach that femur that's in front to the back wall behind you. What's gonna happen here is that's gonna create some tension. You're gonna almost feel that scissor-like tension. So your back hip pressing forward and your front leg coming in. Feel that tension and try to hold it and build it for 3, 2, and then lightly relax. Let's try to create that tension one more time with a little bit of an add-on. So again, we're tucked under on that back hip. We're driving in on that front hip. And we're feeling that for 3, 2. Now keep the tension, but change the direction of forces. So now you're gonna push down and forward and down and back. And what that should make you feel like is that you could stand up. Let's try to keep our shoulders stacked over top of our hips and maybe even hover just a little bit off the floor and hold. If you find yourself coming forward, stay on the ground. Soft landing. Whew. Let's bring that leg underneath and repeat on the other side. Other leg comes up. First, let's tuck those hips under, squeezing that back cheek, scooping the bowl of punch. And then we'll gently tip our tailbone towards the ceiling and the back wall. Repeat again, light tuck under of the hips, squeezing that back cheek, pulling that front leg in. Feel that tension that's pulling in towards scissoring. Then let's change the forces, pushing forward and back. If your shoulders don't stay stacked over the top of the hips or you feel like you have to go forward to do this, imagine doing it. Here we go. Push forward and back, try to hover for 4, 3, 2, soft landing. Whew. We'll take those legs back underneath us. We'll do one quick plank and then we'll come up.
We like that high plank from our hands. Use your arms or forearms if you need to. From here, Lauren told us to grip the fingers to the floor, including the callus line, firmly securing the heels of the hands to the ground. Step back in a modified plank, as I'm showing, or in that full plank like Lauren. Slowly acclimate to the tension and pull your left hand to your left hip or knee. Breathe. Relax. Same effort on the right side. Pull the right hand to the right hip. Breathe. Squeeze your bum. Juice that orange in the armpit. And relax. Place the knees down. Tip the tailbone to the ceiling like a cow. Then, one last time, let's scoop that under from the knees or your high planks position. Now repeat both sides at the same time. Pull the left to the left and the right to the right. Squeeze your bum and brace your core. Continue to breathe and hold for 5, 4, squeeze your bum. Pull, pull, pull. Then gently, knees down. From here, let's tip that tailbone to the ceiling. Press the floor forward through the hands, lifting the hips to the sky. From there, just walk yourself up. I'll be choosing my hinge here, and remember, either hinge or fold, but avoid the hybrid. Strict hinge or strict fold.
Excellent. We're going to finish up this class today here with some transfers of weight and balance. So what you'll need to do is start with your feet underneath you. I like to turn my feet out slightly to create that V formation. You can do this from parallel as well though. Let's start first going lateral. We're going to point a single leg out as we did in that clock, straight leg, toe, ball, heel. Once that heel is down, start pulling on that straight leg and feel that adductor. Pull so much and then press off that inside leg. Let's find a balance out here and hold. Both legs are now straight. Inseam is forward. 2, 1, toe, ball, heel. You're going to fully transfer your weight by pointing off that side foot and returning that leg underneath. Let's repeat to the other side. Point the leg. Toe, ball, heel, your leg is still straight. Start pulling on that straight leg, then push off to transfer your weight. Hold. You're stacked, creating a nice long line over your hip. 3, 2, toe, ball, heel. Return by transferring that weight and pulling the leg underneath. Let's try it to the front. Point that first leg again to the front within your cylinder, otherwise you won't be able to transfer without bending. Toe, ball, heel. Push off your back leg and find a front leg balance and hold. Try to stay square to the front of your room for 3, 2, and then a toe, ball, heel. Push off the front leg, bring that leg under. Repeat on the other side. Point to the front. Toe, ball, heel, knee is straight. Push off that back leg. Find that balance. Hold. 3, 2, toe, ball, heel. Push off that front leg and close. Excellent. We're going to do one to the back now. We're going to point out the back. Toe, ball, heel. Push off that front leg and try to find that back leg balance holding. Again, square up. Toe, ball, heel, land. Push off your back leg. Knee stays straight to bring it underneath. Other side, point. Toe, ball, heel. Off that front leg. Both legs straight, gripping the floor. Toe, ball, heel, land. Push off that back leg. Return to center. Now in space, let's push down into the floor and find a balance up here and hold. If you need your balance aid, move back towards it and hold this position for 3, 2, and then slowly lower. We'll do one more little balance to finish up. Let's push down and return to that high position here. Now either stay here or try to stay the same height and transfer your weight onto a single leg balance and hold for 3, 2, and then place that foot down and try the same thing on the other side. Try not to lose any height here. If you lose height, don't fully transfer. Use that other leg as a little bit of a support or balance aid for 3, 2, then come back to 2 feet, grow, 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 and then with the knees staying straight, slowly descend to your heels. Whew. And shake it out.
Those ever important wiggles. If you're following along or followed along with today's practice, that means you are a YouTube member at large. Welcome. You're one of our patrons. Thank you very much. And or one of our private members with the members portal. Thank you very much for joining us here today. If you are that YouTuber at large, subscribe. Click subscribe. Like the video.
No matter who you are.
And
like it.
Visit our website at barsandbells.com/membership to enroll with your very own membership to support your strength in these challenging times.
We are here again next week with our live bell workout, our live bar workout, our play workout, and always restoring and recharging. So take care, stay strong, and we'll train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.